Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. From the crib, presented by Hyundai, Jason Whitlock, Marcellus Wiley coming to you live from our cribs here in Los Angeles. All right, we're going to go out to Denver and bring Mark Schlereth in from his crib, and we're going to talk about Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bucs general manager Jason Licht acknowledging that when it came to acquiring Tom Brady actually recruited Tampa Bay a bit more than Tampa Bay recruited Tom Brady. I found this interesting. Light said it was almost like a recruitment on his part, telling us why it would make sense for him to come to Tampa Bay. I'm sure that Brady didn't have to beg the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to take him on, and I'm sure there was plenty of conversation between the Buccaneers and Tom Brady's representative. But I'm just wondering if Tom Brady at all should be bothered by Jason Licht and Bruce Arians acknowledging just how desperately Tom Brady wanted to become a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Marcellus, you think the GOAT is bothered by this at all?
No, I don't think Tom Brady's bothered at all. Matter of fact, I think Tom Brady empowered Jason Licht to say this to the world because it's a cleaner break if Tom Brady has this narrative out versus the alternative. Think about it. Jason Licht, who's been with the Patriots organization 2 different times, 2 different stints. So he has a familiarity and a comfort level with Tom Brady already. They start talking on the phone for an hour and a half, and Tom Brady's already come to the calculation that it's better for my story to sound like Tom Brady wanted out versus the Patriots didn't want Tom Brady. Because that creates more confusion, more criticism, more animus, and we just don't stop talking about what's broken in New England. Tom Brady wants to keep that situation as whole as possible because his legacy will be forever tied to New England. So I think Tom Brady, whether it was overtly or just because of relationship, let Jason know, hey, man, everything I'm telling you is on record, and you can let everyone else know because it's cleaner for me and my legacy.
Mark?
You know, this is on point for Tom Brady's brand, if you think about it. Here's what I love about it. Here is one of the greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady. Not dedicated or not inspired or not pushed toward a level of pride, but basically saying, man, I will go out and I will sell myself. This is on brand with the 199 production company. This is on brand with everything that he does, what he says in life. Man, I'm playing this game not as a revenge tour toward the New England Patriots. I'm playing this game because I love football. And I'm looking at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going, this is a franchise and this is an organization that not only, one, fits my skill set, but they've got the players in place that I can come in there and I can continue to be one of the greatest, in the game as it currently, not just the greatest of all time, but one of the greats in the game right now, the way it plays. So to me, this is on brand with Tom Brady. I don't think he has any problem with Jason Licht. He's had a relationship with Jason Licht. I don't think he has any problem with Jason Licht saying, hey, man, I went out and recruited. I sold myself. That's what I'm doing right now. And I love the fact that you can swallow your pride. You don't let ego get in the way. And you say, this looks like the best fit, the best situation for me. Let me go out there, and because I want to continue to play, let me go out there and push for that spot in Tampa.
Let me say this. Let me play the other side of this a little bit because I tend to agree with you and Marcellus. But let's play the other side. Let's say we're a New England Patriot fan reading this story today and like, wow, Tom Brady wanted out of here this bad that he went and sold himself to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We haven't heard any stories of him going to Bill Belichick or even Robert Kraft and passionately explaining why, hey, I need to be here. This is what we need to do. Where was this sales pitch to stay in New England? Again, if I'm a Patriot fan, I could take this in a bit of a negative light of like, damn, Tom Brady wanted to be in Tampa more than he wanted to be here in New England, to the point that he went and sold himself and sold the narrative to Tampa why they should do it. Why didn't he do it here in New England instead?
Well, the Patriot fans saw it close and personal more so than any of us. I mean, they were intimate with that experience, realizing that the defense wasn't as good as this ranking, realizing that he didn't have weapons offensively, and also looking at Tom Brady start to decline in part because of the lack of weapons over the last couple of years since he won the MVP. So if you're a Patriots fan, you also know how Bill Belichick and his personality is not for everyone. And I'm tired of hearing about how his success is supposed to cover up all wounds. That's not true. In any situation, anybody in their workplace, you can have tremendous success. But if you don't like going to work as much, that starts to wear on you. And I think Tom Brady showed me a tremendous trait, something that I always said about the late, great Junior Seau, is it's amazing when you see someone with so much talent, in this case, not only talent, but accolade, and then they act like the 53rd man on the roster. They totally just flip your world upside down because his mannerisms, his behavior is of a guy who looks like he needs an opportunity when you know he can have many opportunities. Tom Brady's going to come off looking better because he's a guy who humbled himself and expressed his desire to go somewhere instead of always taking in the love.
And we don't know. I mean, we have no idea what Tom Brady said to Robert Kraft, what he said to Bill Belichick. For all I know, he went out there and said, hey, man, I want to be here. Let's figure out a way to make this thing work. And Bill Belichick said no, shunned him. And I'm with Marcellus. You know what? Just because you play a professional sport doesn't mean you're not human. All these guys are human. They all want to be loved. They all want to be cared for to a degree, right? And it's not just about the money. It's about the work environment. It's about going to a place. This job is hard. It is incredibly hard. And so you want to go somewhere where there's still a level of fun. Yeah, you got to work hard. You got to do all that stuff. We got to win. But there's still got to be that level of fun. And that just may have not been a part of what's gone on here, especially in the last few years. The other part of this is, hey, you know what? I believe that I'm the reason that we've had this success. And everybody wants to talk about, hey, is it Brady? Is it Belichick? Belichick, the 100 games he coached without Tom Brady, he was 42 and 58, I believe. So, Tom Brady's got a chance to go somewhere that has a ton of talent around him to be a playoff contender. And trust me, that Tampa team, I did some Tampa games toward the end of the season. That was a playoff team had it not been for Jameis Winston's 39 total turnovers. And that's not going to happen.
Let's move on.
Tom Brady is not going to turn it over like that.
Let's move on to Eric Reid. Who is the safety, Colin Kaepernick's best friend. Carolina Panthers released Eric Reid, but Eric Reid is still causing waves in the NFL. He and his lawyers, one of them, a Colin Kaepernick lawyer, I think Mark Garagos, wants the CBA just agreed upon, just approved by the players, invalidated because he says there's some language that was changed as it relates to disabled players and their benefits. He wants the CBA invalidated and a revote, and he's threatening to sue the NFLPA and the NFL, I guess. The question to you guys is, do you think this move here by Eric Reid, do you think this signals that his NFL career is over, Marcellus?
Yeah, I think it's over. Kind of surprised it even lasted this long, being respectful to what he's done. But at the same time, in Carolina for 2 years, 1 interception, a lot of combined tackles, a lot of assisted tackles, but at the same time, not exactly a playmaker. And then we all know that what comes with Eric Reid is going to be a lot of attention, especially off the field. So that said, it's pretty funny how in his list of accolades, he's made the Pro Bowl before. He's a good player. You say that's Colin Kaepernick's best friend. That's the first line. And I hope that Eric Reid is not putting that on his mantle as just being Colin Kaepernick's best friend, because he's done more. Here's the funny part about it. If Drew Brees had brought this to our attention, I think we would receive it differently. But when it's Eric Reid, we already say he got 2 strikes against him in terms of, here you go again, trolling the NFL, trying to get under their skin and bringing up this situation. But if you really look at the situation, distant from who brought it to your attention, it makes sense. I've never signed a contract. And then the actual contract that we are working with that is established is different than the one I signed. And that's what he's pointing out. And what he's pointing out is actually significant, because using 2015 as a designation of, do you use your Social Security benefits before or after? The player said, yeah, we'll sign it for the guys who use it before, and then it flips. So it's like surgery. Mark Schlereth always says this. It's only minor surgery when it doesn't happen to you. In this situation, what he's pointing out, it doesn't happen to most guys. Most guys are not in this situation. But it is significant to those in it. So even though it's Eric Reed, kudos for him. Kudos to him for pointing it out. We'll have to just go through the process now.
Yeah, I don't think this ends his career. Now, I mean, lack of production, that might be a part of it. But I don't think it ends his career. I think he still has an opportunity to play in this league. Guys are going to get hurt all the time. It may take a while for him to find himself a landing spot, but I don't think it ends his career because I don't think this is directly toward the NFL as much as it is toward the Players Association. How are you going to have us vote on a contract that was, quote unquote, legally binding, and then all of a sudden the contract that we voted on, that we read, that was part of what you distributed to all of us as players is different than the one we're signing? Like, that to me is a Players Association issue. It's not so much the league issue. So I don't look at it like the league is going to say, oh, look at Eric Reed just, causing waves again. This is him pointing to the Players Association going, you are not taking care of us the way we should be taken care of. And so I don't think this limits him from having another opportunity to play in the league.
I'm a person that really believes in accept the truth from wherever it comes. And so even my biggest enemy, if he says, hey, Whitlock, you're overweight, I'm going to say, hey, you know what? You're right. I have a difficult time, though, separating Eric Reed from his message because the guy spends every day trying to be important. And if this were the case, and let's say his allegations are true and he's provided evidence that they are true, I think if he were more sincere, he would ask a current signed NFL player of some stature to be the face of bringing this up and questioning DeMaurice Smith and the NFLPA and questioning the league. But Eric Reed spends every day trying to figure out how I can be important. And if I got to go be Colin Kaepernick's best friend and take a knee and complain about the police at a football stadium rather than at a police headquarters, that's what I'll do. That'll make me important. That'll get me retweets and likes. So it's just difficult for me. I wish it had come from a Drew Brees or any Russell Wilson or Patrick Mahomes or anybody else that's a player in standing in the NFL. Then I think we could hear the message and we take his allegations more seriously. All right, stick around. When we come back, Darnell Smith is going to be here with his question of the day. Darnell Smith from his crib. More Speak for Yourself after this.